Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's video. So day 10 is going to take us to around the 26th of August. We'll be able to extend out beyond that. We extend GFS and ECM ensembles for around a good weeks. And we'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of video next 4 weeks, which gets us well into September. I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just say about the first video release today was our 7 AM forecast. We've also released a video looking at weather for Green Man Festival, which will be taking place from Thursday through to Sunday. So check that one out if you'd like to know what's going on there. And yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible. Thank you so much, everybody, for all of the support and watching videos and whatnot. Now, please give us a sub if you aren't yet subscribed to our channel. We are very close now to 11.8k. Just got to put on another 30 subscribers to get ourselves to 11.8k, and so that's like the mini target, the next mini target. The next main target, of course, at the moment is 12,000 subscribers, and when we get to 12k, we are going to do a giveaway. We'll either give away an Amazon voucher or a little bit of GavsWeatherVids merch. So I'll let everybody know when we hit 11.8k. What we're giving away. So so not long to go. You'll find out very shortly, because I've only got to put on another 30 or so to get to 11.8k. Please subscribe and tell friends and family to subscribe as well. And thank you so much, everybody, for doing this for GavsWeatherVids. Right, let's turn on webcam then. And we're going to start the video. We're going to begin in the tropical Atlantic. So we've got 3 areas of interest. We've got a tropical storm and 2 tropical depressions. Let's deal with tropical storm first of all. So we've got tropical storm Fred in the Gulf of Mexico. Tropical Storm Fred is currently giving maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of 1,002 millibars, heading northwards at 9 miles per hour. If we click on Fred and go here, we can see that Tropical Storm Fred is within the next 24 hours or so, probably next 12 to 24 hours, going to make landfall on the Gulf Coast of the United States. So current position is there. Fred will move on to the Alabama coast. So Alabama Slammer, moving in overnight tonight and into tomorrow, USA time, as a tropical storm, and then will push northwards and become a post-tropical depression by the time we get through to the middle part of the week. But obviously it's going to bring copious amounts of rain, risk of flooding, and also wind impacts to the Gulf Coast of the United States. Right, let's go back and have a look at Grace. So we've got tropical depression Grace just there. Tropical depression Grace is giving maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of 1,010 millibars. Grace is moving westwards at 15 miles per hour. Clicking on Grace, we can see that this is going to power back up to a tropical storm very shortly. So the current position of Grace is just there, just to the south of Haiti and Dominican Republic. And this storm is going to tear through the Caribbean. It's going to become a tropical storm again, somewhere between Cuba and Jamaica. Around the middle part of the week. We're going to tear through the Caribbean on towards the Mexican peninsula, and then heading out into the Gulf of Mexico, and perhaps giving a direct impact by the weekend on Mexico itself. All time being forecast to be a tropical storm, not being forecast to power up to a hurricane, but there is a large mass of water that this this storm is going to be passing over, especially through here. So you wouldn't rule out, I don't think, the chance that this might power up to a hurricane. And I'm sure the National Hurricane Center will be keeping a very close eye on that. So let's go back and see what's going on with this one. This is Tropical Depression 8. Just here, giving maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of minimum central pressure of 1,012 millibars, moving south-southwestwards at 15 miles per hour, and clicking on 8 shows that this is also going to become a tropical storm. It's very close to Bermuda at the moment. It can sort of meander around the Bermuda Islands over the course of this week as a tropical depression. Looks like it's just going nowhere fast, really, just sort of winding itself around like that. And yeah, so that's another tropical storm that's about to be named, I think. So again, not broadcast to go up to a hurricane. Sooner or later, one of these storms will go up to a hurricane. You know, I think it's inevitable before much longer. We will get one of these going that extra step and becoming a classified hurricane. At the moment, they're all being forecast to be tropical storms, but I think we need to keep a close eye on all of them. And we will, in fact, do so over the next few days. It's all happening over there in the tropics. Right, central temperature is looking like this. So now we're provisional up to the middle of the month. The CET is standing at 16.5, which is an anomaly of just 0.4 of a degree above average. That is provisional to yesterday, the 15th of August. That's probably going to tick down over the next 2 or 3 days. It has turned quite cool, you know, and that's going to last for the next 2 or 3 days. The end of week into weekend, that might start to lift up a little bit. Looks like this is hovering around below to mid-16s, really, over the next few days, which is not too far from the long-term average. GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles looking like this for Birmingham. So red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Birmingham, starting off quite close to average or a little bit below at the moment, and just staying quite close to average over the next few days. But into the weekend, the upper air temperatures start to lift up, and yeah, as we go like through the weekend into next week, it looks like going into a warmer period. There are still 1 or 2 hot outliers, but they're reduced compared to what we've had on previous days with the GFS ensembles. But it looks like we're going to end August on quite a warm note. Wouldn't necessarily go over the top with the idea of a heat wave or anything like that, but definitely looks like the final week of the month will turn somewhat warmer. Precipitation wise, going to be a lot of dry weather over the next few days, as it's going to be also quite cool. But at the end of the week into the weekend, actually it looks like it could turn quite wet. This is a new development that's appeared within the model output over the last couple of days. It does look as though the warm-up that takes place at the weekend is not straightforward and could well involve either heavy rain, maybe even some thunder over the weekend and into early part of next week. For a while next week, it turns drier again, so that is a warmer, drier interlude, but that's taking place should be early to middle part of next week. But into the bank holiday weekend, at the end of August, it might start to get more unsettled again. Of course, that is a very, very long way off, however. Temperature anomalies from the 16th to the 24th of August around average, not a particularly big deviation either way. Precipitation anomalies from the 16th to 24th of August, quite interesting. Drier than average in the north, wetter than average in the south. We've seen a lot of this over the course of this summer. It's been a very, very unusual, very strange summer, with generally Scotland getting warmer, drier weather compared to southeastern England, which is highly unusual in the summer. It does happen on occasion, but it is quite an unusual summer that we've had, with the north generally warmer, drier than the south. We've got that coming up again by the look of it in at the weekend, with quite a bit of rain for parts of England and Wales, but Scotland and Ireland looking a lot drier. Latest wind flow map from northschool.net shows that we've got northwesterly winds across the country today. So down in the south, where we had quite a humid weekend, it has freshened up, and we are now all in a cool and fresh run of northwesterly winds. Right, at that point, I think we'll put the webcam back up and we'll go through the generic chart. So have a look at the UK Met, first of all, at the weather outlook. This is it then for Thursday. Still a bit of a northwesterly on Thursday, still quite cool and probably a little bit on the cloudy side. Then a ridge begins to build around Friday. That ridge not lasting all that long. We go into the weekend and we have this trough that sets up over the country, and that might bring some more general areas of rain, maybe a bit of thunder to southern areas anyway. Northern areas remain under the ridge, so probably mostly dry there. And then by the beginning of next week, we're back into high pressure. High pressure building to our north and west will turn most areas dry. Should be quite warm, although we are bringing in a wind from the northeast down in the south, so will be a little bit cooler and cloudier down there probably. But yeah, high pressure taking over with the UK Met for the start of next week. Right, let's have a look at the GFS midnight run then. This is how it looks, or this is how it looked, given that it has been superseded by the 6Z now. So Thursday, again, we're in a bit of a northwesterly, still quite cool, I think, on Thursday. By Friday, bit of a ridge is trying to form, starting to get a little bit warmer with more in way of sunshine. Over the weekend, we get this trough starting to move in from off the Atlantic, and there is a bit of a thundery low over France as well. They sort of amalgamate into an area of low pressure through the weekend. So the coming weekend looks like it could be quite wet for England and Wales, either from general outbreaks of rain or maybe even some thunderstorms thrown in. Scotland, probably Northern Ireland, remaining mostly dry. And then that thundery trough clears out of the way as we move into the OPAD next week with a ridge building over and to the north of the country. So as we move up towards day 10, the GFS midnight run places us under high pressure at 1030 millibars. So high pressure takes over next week on this GFS run. We do have a bit of an northeast wind down in the south, which will take the edge of temperature, but it probably turns quite a lot warmer through the early part of next week. Heading in towards the bank holiday weekend, so this is just beyond day 10 to the 27th of August. That high pressure begins to move towards Germany, and that starts to pull up hotter air from the south. So as we go into the bank holiday weekend, we turn hotter, but again, instability very quickly starts to appear with a low developing to the southwest of the UK, and that's suggesting thunder probably pushing northwards through the bank holiday weekend. That's how the upper air temperatures look for Saturday, 28th of August. Look at that, very hot across many parts of England and Wales. So we do get a bit of heat going through the last week of August, but it is very quickly sort of breaking into thunder with low pressure developing to both the south and the west. So through the bank holiday weekend, it turns increasingly volatile with the risk of thunderstorms pushing in from the west and also from the south. That's how it looks as we get to the end of the GFS run, which today gets us to Wednesday the 1st of September, when we're under a thundery area of low pressure. So that does suggest quite wet, thundery conditions continuing into the start of September. Cooling down the temperature as well. This is how the 6Z is looking. This is the very latest GFS run. So again, we've got this weak ridge starting to build up from the south as we go through the end of week into the weekend. However, we also have this area of low pressure developing across England and Wales through the weekend. Probably brings quite a bit of rain and thunder if that low comes off. That low then clears away into next week. High pressure takes over this time on this GFS run. High pressure is more centred to our north. It's more of a northern blocking type area of high pressure centred around Greenland and Iceland. It does settle the weather quite a bit, but it keeps wind in from a cooler sort of northeasterly direction. And as we move towards day 10, we have this area of low pressure developing over Scandinavia and starting to push northerly to northeasterly winds our way. So definitely not much of a warm-up on the 6Z. High pressure is away to our north and west, and winds are in from the north as we're approaching the bank holiday weekend. That's day 10, which is the 26th of August, where we're in a northerly to northeasterly wind with the 6Z, and that carries on just beyond that. So we've got the midnight run on the 27th of August, right, 27th, bringing up hot southerlies. We've got the 6Z bringing in cool northeasterlies. So, you know, pick bones out of that, try and make any sense of that. Either northerly or southerly is a possibility, really. As we go into the bank holiday weekend, we find that we get a ridge sort of sitting over country, so quite a lot of dry weather and temperature gradually staging a recovery until bank holiday Monday, when low pressure deepens around Iceland and starts to bring a hint of perhaps a little bit of autumnal gales in towards Scotland. And then we go into the end of a GFS 6Z, which gets to the 1st of September. And we're looking pretty autumnal there as we start meteorological autumn, with winds in from the northwest, cool, windy, and probably quite a bit of rain, particularly so up in the north. Right, so that's the GFS done. This is GM. If you enjoyed the video, then please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And drop a comment after you've watched the video and let us know what you think. Right, this is how the GM is looking, men. So, on Thursday, again, we're beginning to raise the heights at the end of the week. So it turns a little bit dry, a little bit warmer Thursday into Friday. But into the weekend, this low, or this trough, is coming in from the Atlantic. Will bring showers, longer spells of rain, particularly with the GM to more northern areas. Actually, into next week, the GM then builds up this area of high pressure from the south. So the GM has high pressure building next week as well, which does turn us dry and very warm. The high pressure by day 10, Thursday 26th of August, is sitting over and slightly to the east of the country and drawing in a very warm, maybe you would say quite hot, southeast winds as the upper air temperatures bring the plus 15 Celsius isotherm in from the west. I think if we could go on any further, we would probably find pressure lowering from both the west and the south. So we're probably going to, wetter, thundery conditions into bank holiday weekend. But for 2 or 3 days next week, actually, the GM does turn things pretty dry and hot. And then we've got the ECM looking like this. So once more on Thursday, just starting to raise heights a little bit, or trying to. Into the weekend, we have this trough of low pressure down to our south and southwest. That brings increasing risk of heavy rain, maybe some thunder to England and Wales through the course of the weekend. Under an area of low pressure across England and Wales as we go through into Monday, so that looks quite wet. Meanwhile, further north, we've got high pressure blocking again between Iceland and Norway, keeping Scotland mostly dry. Into the early part of next week, we get rid of that thundery low. That moves over to Germany and Poland, and high pressure begins to slip in from the north. So we finish up with the ECM also under high pressure at day 10, which is Thursday the 26th of August. So it looks like high pressure is very likely to build up next week after this more unsettled weekend. Looks like high pressure will take over next week. The exact position is going to be important as to whether we generate any heat with this or whether it's a cool ridge. But it does look as though we will get some drier weather through the course of next week, possibly breaking mode for the bank holiday weekend. This is how the ECM precipitation type forecast looking based on that, or this is how the precipitation forecast looking based on that ECM run from Temesio.com. So there will be showery bursts coming and going over the next few days, of course. A little bit drier around middle of the week. And then into the weekend, end of week weekend, we've got more wet weather focused on England and Wales in particular, and some of that rain will be quite heavy, and that looks really wet actually on Sunday next week, so that's either thunderstorms or maybe more general areas of thundery rain focused on Northern Ireland, England and Wales. Even Scotland's got some rain with that as well actually. It's the early part of next week that wet weather finally clears way into the North Sea, but does take its time to do so, and then high pressure takes over. So by day 10, we are back to mostly dry conditions. Right, so let's have a look at the options on the table within the ECM ensembles for day 10. These are them from the Icelandic Met Office. This gets us to the 26th of August. We have 12 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to our north. We're bringing in winds from the east with that, so mostly dry and potentially quite warm with that, although there might be a little bit of a northeasterly component to the wind that could keep things a little bit on the cooler side. 11 with high pressure again, somewhere between Iceland and Norway, bringing in winds from the east. That could be quite warm. 8 have high pressure over slight to the east of the country, low pressure to the west. That's going to be a warmer option. That will be bringing the wind up more from the south. Another 8 just here have high pressure a long way north, so it's going to be a cooler sort of option. We'll bring in the wind from like the northeast. 6 with high pressure pretty much over the country, mainly dry. That's going to be a warmer option with more of a easterly, southeasterly. And then another 6, which includes the operational run. So the operational run, not all that well supported by its ensembles today, actually. High pressure more focused towards Greenland and Iceland. Obviously, that is a cooler wind direction with winds in from north. High pressure is dominating at day 10, but the position where that high pressure is dominating from, the position of the high, is very much to be determined and will make an important difference, you know, in terms of the temperature and the feel of the weather. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the last day of August and the last day of meteorological summer. 16 members of the ECM ensembles will have high pressure to our north again and bring in the wind from an easterly direction, mainly dry and quite warm. 10, excuse me, 10 have low pressure over Scandinavia and high pressure in the middle of the Atlantic, so that is a cooler and more unsettled option with winds in from the northwest. 10 have high pressure focus around Greenland and low pressure over Scandinavia. This area just here probably has a trough that keeps things quite unsettled. 10 just here with a lot of high pressure blocking within the northern latitudes, low pressure around the UK and Ireland, and 5 with the mid-Atlantic ridge up towards Greenland and low pressure across northern and also western Europe, looking quite cool and unsettled with winds in from the northeast. So by the time we get through to the end of the month and the beginning of September, we could be into cooler and more showery conditions. CFS V2 finally, so these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 16th to 22nd of August. The coming week we'll have high pressure over and to the northwest country, mostly dry, a little bit on the cool side though, with winds in from the northeast. Then we go through to week 2, which is 23rd, 29th of August, high pressure to the north of Scotland. Around the high, we're bringing in easterly winds. That's going to be mostly dry and will be warmer. Into week 3, which is the 30th of August, 5th of September. High pressure more or less over the top of the country then. So a dry and warm start to September with this CFS run. And then week 4 will be the 6th to the 12th of August. High pressure focus somewhere around Greenland and Iceland then. Still sending a ridge into west of Europe, but probably on a cooler, with a cooler wind direction. Notice low pressure forming across southern Europe, so where it's been so baking hot over the past few weeks across the Med and into the eastern Med, the Balkans, those areas are under low pressure by September, which will bring, you know, a lot of wet weather and much cooler temperatures. Temperature anomalies with the CFS V2, so we just got to zoom in with this. So where's the zoom? There it is. So here we go then with the temperature anomaly for week 1, and we look like that. This is 16th, 22nd of August, so near normal to slightly above average in the north, but week 2 is actually a warmer week. This is the 23rd, 29th of August. Warmer then. Week 3 is going to be the 30th of August to the 5th of September. That one also is quite a warm week on this CFS run. And week 4, which is the 6th to 12th of September, is also warmer than average precipitation-wise for week 1, which is 16th, 22nd of August, with dry than average in the week ahead. Week 2 is also drier than normal, 23rd, 29th of August. Week 3 is going to be the 30th of August, 5th of September. Still looking dry than average to our south, bit wetter than average away to our north and west. And we're losing the signal now as we're going further out. And then week 4 finally, which is the 6th to 12th of September, we've lost the signal by this point. Right, so if you enjoyed the video, please can you smash the like button, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for doing that, and drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. So yeah, it's an interesting outlook. There's still a lot of uncertainty about where this ridge is sitting next week. Potentially we could turn quite hot next week, for a while anyway, for a day or two, we might warm things up. But again, the position of that ridge is going to be very, very important, I think. So keep you informed, of course, over the next few days. And before that, we could have quite a wet weekend coming up for England and Wales in particular. Right then, so I might do a bank holiday update for you this evening. We shall see how things go with that, but there will be a bank holiday update coming up within the next day or so. Anyway, for this video though, that's all for now. You enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon, and that's all for now, and thanks for watching.